Hello and welcome to Hexed Encountered on the Legend Sport channel. My name is Joe. Today we'll be doing part 3 of our 1974 Yom Kippur War playthrough in Down in Flames Locked On by Dan Verssen Games. This will actually be mission number 4, Bounced by MiGs. In this mission we will have 2 Israeli Nesher-S type aircraft going up against 2 MiG-19S farmer aircraft of the Egyptian Air Force. The scenario setup indicates that the MiGs are tailing the Nesher-S aircraft, and they are in gun range, and they're all at medium altitude. So they have bounced, hence the name. They've bounced the Nesher aircraft, and the Nesher will have to basically survive and then turn the tables on the Egyptians. So the Nesher is a bit more of a powerful aircraft than the MiG-19 is. We do have some missiles on the Nesher. They have the Shafrir 2 missile, and the Shafrir 2 missile, as you can see, it's a heat seeker. At neutral, it has no cards, so it cannot fire from a neutral position. If you're advantaged, you get 1 card. If you are if you're tailing, you get 3. So there are only 2 Nesher counters included with the game, and since we have 2 aircraft and each has 2 of them, I am actually using the AIM-9G Sidewinder, which has the same basic ratings as the Nesher. So it makes a good replacement. Now, as far as skills go, the Israelis have Agile, which allows you to play any card as Ace Pilot. That's a one-time use skill. The Aircraft 2 has Skilled, which increases your one aircraft rating by 1. So I will choose which one I want to use that on. I have not made that choice yet. Our first MiG has Up the Sleeve, and Up the Sleeve lets you start with an Ace Pilot in your hand, so that's a good one to have. And then Brave, and for Brave, every time the enemy plays a tone to fire a missile, you draw a card. So that is pretty good as well. The problem with the Up the Sleeve is because the cards are nondescript when you're playing the Solitaire mode, the Egyptians actually won't benefit much from that. But it is what it is, and we are going to proceed with play. And if there comes a time when I can figure out a way to include that somehow, I will do so. Our performance ratings for the 2 aircraft: the Nesher has a performance of 6. The MiG has a performance of 5. So that means 6 cards for the Nesher and 5 for the MiGs. The speed is a 2-to-1 advantage for the Nesher-S, so they will get a speed maneuver each round. The gun ratings are 1 for the Nesher and 0 for the MiG, so the Neshers will get 1 additional card on a gun attack. And countermeasures: Nesher has 1, the MiGs have none. The MiGs are also not equipped with missiles. They are not equipped with countermeasures. Everybody has afterburners. Obviously, the Israelis can probably take a little bit more advantage of that than the Egyptians can, because the Egyptians do not have missiles. And the Israelis are armed with heat seekers. So we will begin by dealing out the cards. So I'll give 6 cards to each of the Neshers. Oh, that's right. Scenario rules say they only get 4. So 4 to each of the Neshers. They start with 2 fewer than their performance because they've been surprised here. And each of the MiGs gets 5. Okay. So they each get 5. Now, we can get this thing underway. All right, so we will start with Aircraft 1. As you can see, Aircraft 1 and 2, our 2 Israeli aircraft, are being tailed by the MiGs. So the MiGs actually have the advantage. So the trick for the Israelis will be to break I'm going to put this over here where it's a little bit easier for me to grab. The trick for the Israelis are going to be to kind of escape this and turn the tables. So in order to do that, what we are going to do is we are going to play a vertical roll. Oh yeah, we're not doing any altitude or range setup because it's already set up by the mission parameters that the aircraft are all at medium altitude and gun range. Okay, so I will be playing a vertical roll card for 3 positioning to try and get out of my tailed position and get to an advantaged position. So we will roll for the Egyptian aircraft. They have 5 plus 5 cards is 10, so they are countering. A 5 against maneuvering is nothing, so they are unable to prevent me from doing what I was hoping to do. So now aircraft 3 actually is disadvantaged to aircraft 1. All right, so aircraft 1 now will play you know what? I'm going to take a shot at this guy. I've got a guns card, and I will have to discard both my other cards, so this is kind of a cowboy move, but as you may have noticed in the previous episode, I tend to gravitate towards cowboy moves. So I am going to fire my guns here from my advantage position. I had to discard 2, so we will roll here. I rolled a 3. They have 5 cards. That's 8, but they get 2 more for this being a gun attack, which would destroy them if they didn't counter it. So it's effectively a 10. They rolled a 10. A 10 against a gun attack is ace pilot. Okay. I used all my cards, so I have not used my play any card as ace pilot, but I can't. So that ends my turn. And we draw 2 cards. Okay, so we move on to aircraft number 2, and he's being tailed by aircraft 4. So again, he's got. I'm going to use my tone steady for positioning for 2 and try to get back to neutral. So he rolls a 5. Aircraft 4 has 5 cards. I believe I forgot to take a card from him. Not that it really matters. It doesn't matter. All right, so 5 and 5 is 10. We roll a 5 against maneuvering is a barrel roll. So he plays a barrel roll card. I can counter a barrel roll with a barrel roll, which I will. And he rolls again, and he gets an 8, so that he will be rolling again. So he rolls an 8 again, and an 8 against maneuvering is a barrel roll. So he plays another barrel roll. This one I do not believe I can counter. Well, I can if I use my... You know what? I'm going to use my ace pilot to counter it. He rolls an 8. He has 3 cards. That's good enough. He rolls again. He rolls a 4. So a 4 against ace pilot is nothing. He keeps his card. He can't play against it. I have successfully gotten back to neutral. I will now end my turn and draw 2 cards for aircraft number 2. Okay, aircraft 3. They have their full complement of 5 cards. They are currently disadvantaged, so we will roll for altitude. He rolled a 6. That means he stays at his current altitude. We roll for play. We rolled an 8. And an 8 plus 5 is 13. A 13 allows him to adjust range or improve his position by 2, or adjust his altitude by 1. So since he's disadvantaged, he's going to attempt to become advantaged on me. So he's playing a maneuver card. And I will try to counter that maneuver card, but I cannot. So he gets advantaged on me. Now we roll again, and he rolls an 8. And now he's in a gun-friendly position. He still has 4 cards. So that's a 12. And a 12, when you're advantaged with a gun, is guns discard 2. So he loses 3 cards because you have the gun card and then the 2 cards he has to discard. Okay, so that leaves him with just 1 card. But now I have a gun attack that I'm facing. So luckily for me, I have a vertical roll, which I will play to avoid his guns. And now he will try to counter that. He rolls a 5 and he has 1. That's not good enough. I have escaped damage. He will draw 3 cards. So he's back to 4, but his turn is over and we go to aircraft. Number 4. So he's starting his turn. He can draw 2 cards. So he's at 5. He is currently neutral. So he rolls a 1 with 5. Altitude change. A 1 is a dive and he draws a card. So he's going to actually descend to low and he draws a card. Okay. So now we roll for his play. He rolled a 7. 7 plus 6 is 13. That's more than good enough. That actually is a improved position by 2. So he's playing a maneuver to try and improve his position. Actually, no, he's going to play for altitude. And he's going to drop back to medium altitude. And he has to discard a card for doing that. He's climbing back to medium altitude, I'm sorry. So when you climb, you discard. When you descend, you draw an extra card. Okay, so now he will roll and he rolled a 6. He has 4, so that's a 10, an 8 to 11 on the play cards. Is improved position by 1 or just range. So he's going to try to improve position. So he is playing a card, a maneuvering card. I'm countering it with break. So now he's going to try to counter that. He rolled a 10 and a 2. And a 2 against a break, I believe, is a break. Yes, it's a break. So I have another break card. I will play that to counter his break. And he rolls a 7 plus 3 is 10, so he can try to do it. And he rolls a 7 again. And a 7 against a break is a scissors. So he rolled so he's got a scissors, and I cannot counter that. So he gets advantaged on me. Now he has 2 cards left. He can possibly shoot at me, so we will roll for that. He has actually he could have shot at me when we were neutral, and I totally forgot about that. So he rolled a 9. He has 2 cards. That's an 11. So from an advantaged position, this would be a guns discard 2, which he cannot do because he has 2 cards. So in that case, it would be a situation of trying to improve position instead, which he can do. So we will play 1 card. And I do not have any counter for maneuvering, so he is now got me in the tailed position. So he will roll now for a gun attack again. So he rolled a 6 and a 1. A 7 with tailing is guns discard 1. He cannot do that because he only has 1 card left. So his turn is going to end and he's going to draw 3 cards. Okay, so that was the end of round 1. Okay, end of round 1. I'm going to use my my sidewinders here to tell me what round we are now. We're now in round 2. So I'm actually going to put two sidewinders here for to denote that we are in round 2, because I've found myself not remembering what round we are. You get involved in the game and it just kind of consumes you a little bit. So we are in round 2. The Nesher-S is going to turn his afterburner on. and I'm going to draw 3 cards. Okay, and he is currently disadvantaged, so he needs to play something that will give him some positioning. So we are going to play a split S for positioning. So that's a maneuver card worth 2. He rolled a 3 and has 4 cards. That's a 7, so that's not good enough to counter it. So we get him at a disadvantage now. Okay, so I do have a gun card that I can play, but I would have to discard my other 2 cards to do it. So I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna shoot, and I'm gonna discard my other 2 cards. So this is kind of an all or nothing situation again for me. I don't have a tone card, so I could not fire a missile. So he will now be rolling to see if he can defend against the guns. He gets 2 plus 2 bonus. That's 4 plus 4 is 8. That's actually not enough. He needed a 3. Yeah, he needed a 3 because to avoid being destroyed when you're being attacked by guns, you get an extra 2. So 2 plus 4 is 6, plus 2 is 8, so he falls short and he gets shot down by guns. So he has been destroyed. I'll remove his cards. So that actually surprisingly worked. And that ends Aircraft 1's turn. He draws 2. Or actually, I think he may get 3 because we do have our afterburners on. I'm going to give him 3. I'm not sure if that's right. I'll just take 2. All right. So we'll go to Aircraft 2. He's going to also turn his afterburners on and draw 3. So now Aircraft 3 has been destroyed. And Aircraft 4 is tailing Aircraft 2. So we will play vertical roll for 3 positioning to try and turn this thing around and get to an advantaged position. So Aircraft 4 rolled a 7. He's got 4 cards, so that's 11. So he's going to be able to try to counter. He rolls a 1. A 1 against a maneuvering is a break, so he plays a break. Do I have a counter for a break? I do. I will play break. And he will roll again. He rolled a 10, so he does have a shot. He rolls a 7, so he's going to play a card against this break. And a 7 is a scissors, so he's playing a scissors. I believe I have scissors. I do. I will play my scissors against his scissors, so now he's trying to counter a scissors. Rolled a 2. He does not have enough cards, so he has failed, and I am now in an advantaged position against him. Okay, so I only have 1 card left, and it is a tone steady. So I am going to actually launch a missile. Why not? I will launch one of my AIM-9 or Shafir 2, actually. This is standing in for my Shafir 2. I get 1 card, and I get a 2nd card if the tone is successful. So we're rolling here. He's got 2 cards. He gets bonus. No, he doesn't get a bonus. He needs a 7, and he got a 7. So he has successfully gotten the opportunity to break tone, and he rolled a 1. So a 1 against tone is a break. So he has to play a card, but I'm out of cards, so I don't have any way to try and keep my tone. So my turn is over. I get 2. He gets 3. And it's now his turn. And he's in a disadvantage. So we check for altitude change. A 5 is no change. 4. So 4 plus 4 is 8. With an 8, he can adjust his position by 1. So he is going to try to do that. So he is maneuvering. I will counter his maneuver. He will roll a 2 with 3. That is not enough. His maneuver has failed, and his turn is over. Or actually, no, it's not over. He can continue to go, but he did not successfully improve his position. Now he rolled a 3 plus 3 is 6, so now his turn is over, and he will draw 2 cards to get to his limit. Now we go to round 3, and it is I'm going to use my other afterburner. So take 3 cards. I have 5 now. Okay. So I am at neutral. This is where it gets challenging. So I'm going to put it like this, I guess. So we are neutral to each other, but this guy's advantaged. Okay. So since I am neutral to him, I need to get position. So I will play a tone, because I have several of them, to try and get him into an advantaged position. So he will roll against that. He rolled a 6. He has 5 cards, so he does have a shot at it. He rolled a 5. A 5 against maneuvering is an inability to match it. It's blank, so he doesn't lose a card, but he's also now disadvantaged against both of my fighters. I'm going to play a tone card, and he will roll against it. So it's a 5. He has enough. He still has 5 cards. So he rolls a 5 and a 5 again against 5 against tone is a vertical roll. So he's playing a vertical roll. And I am going to match his vertical roll with one of my own. He rolls again. He rolls a 3 and 4 is 7. That's not good enough. So he cannot play a card to match my vertical roll. So I have tone, and now I'm going to fire. So I'm firing a Shafrir 2. This guy's already been used. Okay. We are at advantage, so that's a 1 card. The missile gets 1 card. Okay, so this is the missile card. So we'll roll. He rolled an 8. He gets the bonus and everything. So he is going to attempt to juke the missile. He rolled a 9. So a 9 against a missile is red line. And we cannot. Missile does not have something to handle red line, so he evades the missile. Okay, he's got 4 cards left. I have another tone card. I'm going to play it. I will try my other missile. He rolls again. He's got a 7 plus 4 is 11. That's good enough. Then he rolls a 1, so he's playing a card against tone. A 1 against tone is a break. So he plays a break. I will play my barrel roll against his break. He rolled a 6. Plus 2 is 8. That's not good enough, so the tone is successful, and the missile is launched. So we launched a second missile. Again, this missile gets 1 card. He rolled a 5 plus 2 is 9, so he can counter it. He rolled a 10, which is going to be ace pilot, I believe. Missile. Yes, ace pilot. So ace pilot can't be used by a missile, so he successfully evades that missile as well. All right, so that ends my turn. So I draw 2. And my compadre will draw 3 because he's going to turn his afterburners on. And so he has 4 cards. He's also advantaged. The enemy card only has 2 left. We have tones and we have guns. So, actually we have 2 guns. I'm actually going to play my guns, one of my gun cards here, to try and get I'm going to play it for positioning to try and get an improved position and get tailing on him. So 4 and 2 is a 6. He can't counter my tailing, so that was successful. So I now have the opportunity to shoot at him from a tailing position, and I will use my tone. So I'm going to fire a missile. I've got one left. Firing my missile. Oh, assuming I get tone, I'll be firing that missile. So 4 and 2 is 6, so I have tone. Okay, I have tone. Now firing this missile with tone, I get, I don't get a bonus, but I do get 3 cards for the missile because the missile is firing from behind, from the tailing position. So the missile gets 3 cards, 1, 2, 3. And he gets to try to break. So he gets a 7 plus the 2 plus the 2. That's more than enough. So he's going to have a 9. That's a red line, I believe, for a missile. Yes. So he plays red line. The missile has a red line to counter that with. So now he has to counter the red line. He rolls a 7 plus 2. Well, whatever. It changed, but he has 1 card, so he rolled a 10, and again, that's going to be ace pilot, I'm pretty sure. Yes, that's ace pilot. So he played his last card. And so that was the end of the missile. But, I have a guns card, and he does not have anything. He has no cards. So in that situation, I'm tailing, so I do have to discard a card, but leave my last card as well. But he has no way to defend against this, so he's shot down. He is shot down as well, and that was a complete victory for the Israelis, a complete victory and a fairly easy victory. So that was mission number 4, bounced by MiGs. I was pretty well able to actually turn the tables on them and take advantage and get this done. So that is a 76-point victory for the Israelis. The Egyptians get 0 points for that. I will update my tally. I don't have a paper with me to write it down. I didn't bring it here with me. So that will complete this mission. Next up will be number 5, Israeli reinforcements, which will see another Nesher-S and 3 Egyptian planes, 2 MiG-17s and a MiG-19. And the Israelis will be reinforced on the second turn. They get an A4 Skyhawk in the start of the second turn. Okay, so once again, thank you for watching. This has been Hexed and Countered on the Legend Sport channel. My name is Joe. As always, I appreciate you watching, and I ask if you could kindly like, possibly subscribe if you would feel like you would like to see more videos like this. And even if not, maybe just share it so that others can maybe view it and get more eyes on it. The more the merrier from my standpoint. I appreciate your help. As always, thank you again for watching, and happy gaming.